What's up, friends, and welcome. It's time to elevate and thrive. And as we transition from summer into fall, I'm here with Dr. Angela Yeagley.
Hello.
To share 5 key tips for you to get into the best possible place you can be this fall and winter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I think, all of us going through summer, our routines get massively disrupted.
Pretty much everybody, I think.
Especially if you have kids.
Yes.
Out of school thing gets to be really old.
So old. So old.
Please go.
Thank you, teachers, for
Please go away, child or children. It really does. It gets to the spot where absolute insanity. And it's very challenging though. Like when you have kids out of school at that age, it's hard to stick with your normal routines.
It's extremely hard.
And on top of that, you often have more vacations, more stuffed trips, outings, all this kind of stuff. And so our routines really take a huge hit. So I think as we transition from summer to fall, one of the number one things that I like to do myself, and I am doing this currently, I'm about ready to get into this, but also like to talk to people about, is getting into their workout routine, rebooting it, revitalizing it, reassessing it, recommitting to their physical fitness and their physical routines.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think that's pretty much everybody. I mean, who doesn't? Like, you go on a vacation for a week and then you're like, you brought your running shoes and then they never come out of the suitcase, unless you're like running to the restaurant that you're going to go eat at that night.
for 5 nights.
Yeah.
I used to pack my kettlebell when I would take different trips.
I love that.
In the car. And I don't know, probably maybe I was stubborn. It probably was 5 or 6 different road trips and vacations we took. I didn't pack it in a suitcase, people. That's 54 pounds. That would be my whole suitcase.
Right.
The weight. I literally would throw these kettlebells in, and I never used them a single time on all these trips.
Summer is not the time. It's
not
to like bolster down and get your stuff done.
No, unless you're doing some kind of specific goal or you're training for some kind of thing. Otherwise, for mostly everybody else, your workout routine takes a huge backseat, takes a huge hit. And this is right now as we transition out of summer into fall. It is the time to say, what should my workout routine be? Maybe it's time to freshen it up. Maybe it's time to try something new, get into Industrious. That's one of our favorite places to get a functional fitness work. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe it's time to buy a Peloton if you don't have one. I'm a giant fan of Peloton. Everybody should have a Peloton because, even I go to Industrious 2 to 4 times a week, but then I want those home workouts. I'm going to go to my Peloton or a Tonal. The Tonal is the other thing that is, I'm dying to buy one. I want every single day I hover my finger over the buy now button.
Well, tell us a little more about the Tonal. I don't know about
is amazing. Oh God, this is the Tonal. I'm going to geek out on it too hard. It's going to be too long. Suffice to say, it's basically a modern weightlifting system that you put onto a wall, and it has adjustable arms, and it has magnets inside that you can then change the weights on in a giant screen, and all of the handles and all of the different parts that allow you to do different kinds of lifts, curling, pressing, pulling, squatting, deadlifting, shoulders, back, all of it. It's a whole body workout machine. It's very adjustable. And they're all smart sensors, so it tracks your movement and it can give you feedback on your form. And it can also dynamically adjust the weights to really put you in an optimum muscle building position.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's the coolest tech. It's the coolest lifting tech. Everybody should have a Tonal Peloton and a membership to Industrious. Get all your bases covered.
First, I thought you were talking about something that was, what is it? Like, just to be the Bowflex. So first I thought you were talking, this was going to sound like something like that, but it's a little better.
This thing is like 1,000,000% better. Right. I've had different home things, and I have a home gym in my garage during the pandemic, converted the garage into a home gym. And I am lusting so hard after this Tonal. I have the spot all ready to go. I have to do some demo. I have to smash some stuff with a sledgehammer to get rid of some stuff. But there's a spot, and I see it so clearly in my mind where the Tonal's going to go. It's going to happen soon.
I look forward.
I only have 2 payments left. 2 payments left on my Peloton tread. Plus, I got the fancy one. That was a very substantial investment. So that's almost paid off. And when that's paid off, let's turn that money into Tonal.
So I love it. We've got home approaches. We've got, I think joining. I love the idea actually of joining some sort of system. That's, I think, why we like Industrious so much, because everything is already laid out.
You don't have to think about it. The great thing about Industrious is you walk in there, no matter what your fitness level is, whether you're a very extremely fit person or you're just getting back into it, or you've been out of it for a long time, or you're kind of moderately fit or a little, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's a spot, there's a space for you there. You have your own. It's basically having the ultimate garage gym. Like you have everything that you need. And then you also have super helpful, friendly coaches there to help guide you every step of the way.
Amazing.
And super awesome people who are all of them are, wide, diverse range of people in there. So you're not in there with a bunch of like crazy CrossFit people who are all shredded with no shirt on and 24 abs. Like there's a lot of normal people in there getting a great workout, awesome music and instruction. And you don't have to think about anything. You just show up. It's 50 minutes, do this stuff, walk out of there, huge smile on your face, huge cardio, metabolic strength improvements. It's just the best.
It is. And I think that's the beauty of it. And you're right. Like there is a wide range of ages and definitely both, men and women of all age ranges and all
totally
fitness
diverse.
levels. Yeah. But say if you're maybe not quite there. Certainly I see a lot of people that, CrossFit or something like it's extremely intimidating, right? They might lean a little more towards, home gym or joining something like, our local Harbor Square, or even I would say, you know what? Hey, if right now your exercise level is 0, just starting walking and tracking steps is a wonderful way to like start doing something. Absolutely. So any of that range. We're kind of, super excited about a lot of these, particular programs, but it doesn't have to be.
It's just really, you just need to be realistic with yourself and know, like, am I the kind of person who can self-motivate? And self-motivation for most people when it comes to fitness can be tough. It can be hard sometimes. That's why I love Peloton is exactly why, and the Tonal system is exactly why I love the Industrious system versus a traditional gym, is because with Peloton and Tonal, there's coaches that you get, especially on Peloton. I can't speak to Tonal because I don't have one yet. But on the Peloton, you have these incredible coaches that are very dynamic, amazing. You really start to feel like you get to know them. It's weird, but like I have all these coaches and I feel like they're my best friends. I'm going to go work out with like some of my best friends. Yeah. Seriously, they've done the best job.
I have heard that Peloton.
This is not everything. This is only Peloton. They have done an amazing job. They have incredible people. There's people there that you want to meet and spend time with. The coaches are awesome. But that helps give you structure. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to plan. And they're there to encourage you, motivate you, give you coaching on your form and technique so that you can improve and progress. When it's self-motivated and you're showing up at a gym with your headphones on, a bunch of, bros, or if you're at Harbor Square, there's like 5,000 teenagers working out in there. It's a lot harder, it's a lot harder, and your results they're gonna suffer. Now, if you have knowledge and skill or whatever, sure, that's fine. But I think there's better options for most people that removes the burden of thinking.
I completely agree, and I think you're going to be more successful if you have coaches and you're showing up and people are excited. You're like, hey, this is my group, or my, you start recognize. You're like, hey, this is like Cheers. I'm showing up, and what's up? We're doing this together, right?
High fives, some fist bumps. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So along this kind of route of rebooting your workout routine is also a great time to look at rebooting your food.
Yeah.
This is tip number 2 as we transition summer to fall, is take a look at the diet.
Yeah. That's the other thing that goes kind of out the window, during summer and all the travel. Which is great. It's wonderful to, food is an amazing pleasure, right? It hits all of our dopamine receptors. Like, it's awesome. But at some point, like, the fun food journey has to be put under control, right? And you have to come back, especially before you start getting into Thanksgiving and Christmas. You've got to regroup. You have to have a food regroup, is what I would call it.
I have been afraid to. I have not stepped on the scale this entire month. I haven't. I'm terrified. We bought a brand new scale at home. I have to be the guinea pig tomorrow who tests out how the old scale calibrates, how the new scale and the old scale calibrate. So I have to weigh myself. So by the time this podcast drops, I will have had to go through the pain of weighing myself. I'm anticipating a 5-pound gain. I hope it's only 5 pounds, but it's probably 5 pounds just in the month of August. In the month of August.
Nicely
I kept
done.
it all under
You enjoyed
control.
yourself.
I did other trips under control into Mexico. August, I had 3 trips: Disneyland, Walla Walla, camping trip, long camp, and that's 5 pounds later here. At least 5 pounds later, here I am. So I'm 100%. I'm rebooting. I have a macro coach that I work with periodically. You say, but Barry, you were a macro coach. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Everybody needs a coach. Okay, so every single buddy needs a coach. I don't care how good you are, how much you know, you should have a coach. So when I want to get serious about my food, I hire somebody to help me. Not because I don't know what to do, but because it's way better to work with somebody who can guide you, encourage you, motivate you, hold you accountable, and take the thinking away. I can't stress this enough. We overthink so much. we need to stop thinking is that we need to start doing more. And when you have a coach, it allows you to get into more doing. So that's what.
Nicely said.
Thank you for following today. So anyways, reboot your food, hire a coach, work with somebody, get into a program. My good friend Matt Johnson, his dad, Chris, they have a company called On Target Living. They have a 21-day eat challenge that's happening right now. It's happening in the month of September. Highly recommend checking that out. That is right down your alley, our alley. It's all about whole foods. They give you a super cool food plan, recipe book, and daily emails and videos that can help you upgrade and elevate just your everyday stuff into stuff that's really healthy, helps energize you, helps with the weight loss, helps clean your system up.
I love that. And, say other options, like say if you're already our person, right? You're already a patient that comes here. I mean, we have many different types of cleanses and detoxes also that can reset you. So sometimes it's something like a sugar cleanse. Sometimes it's something like a 14-day or a 21-day or a 30-day overall detox. We're really pushing the liver, and taking out all of the things like, you're not on processed carbs, you're not on sugars. And then we're taking the nutrients like way up as well.
And if you're a person that has in the past, food is, it's a trigger thing for you. It's one of those things that you've had a lot of ups and downs with food. We also have other things to look at, like semaglutide. Semaglutide is a powerful, powerful tool, that can help with decreasing hunger, food cravings, all that kind of stuff really goes out the window with semaglutide. And that can be a powerful way to supplement food and lifestyle changes and make them way easier to implement. So that's a good tool.
It's been incredible. I mean, and that's the one where, we do have a whole other podcast on semaglutide. So if you're interested in a medication that is very well tolerated and essentially kind of the beauty of it is you don't have to change anything for it to work. And I know sometimes people will say, well, that's downside because you don't have to make changes, but it helps you actually shift your mindset and your relationship with food in a very positive way while, you are losing weight on a consistent basis without trying in a healthy way.
It can really help put you in a place where making food changes is much more manageable and much more sustainable. So highly recommend that. All right. Next thing that we're going to queue up, third tip, is getting into an IV nutrient therapy routine. So if you've ever been on one before, you know they're the absolute best. For a lot of people, they haven't experienced the incredible benefits of being on a regular IV nutrient therapy regime. And that looks different for everybody, but it's incredible. It could be once a month, it could be every other month, it could be every other week, it could be every week.
It could be.
It should be
like somebody we know, right? Yeah, almost every week. Yeah.
I could speak to the end of a weekly IV nutrient therapy regime. Highly beneficial.
So yes, if you have not experienced, IV vitamins, one thing we say a lot, it's 100% absorbed, and there are a lot of deficiencies in our food. And most people, their diet, is not 100%.
Your diet, and your environment.
And your environment, the toxins,
pollutants, smoke in the air, which we're going to talk about, but all these environmental pollutants, environmental stressors.
Well, and the other part too is if actually maybe there is something else that you're dealing with, and maybe, you haven't focused on your health for the summer, but you've got Hashimoto's or another type of autoimmunity, or you've got mold toxicity, or you have some other condition that is really draining you, right? And now, okay, summer is over, kids are back in school, there's some time there. Get yourself in here and let's just pump you up. I can't say that I really ever have anyone, it's extremely rare that we get somebody in here and we put them on a regimen and they don't feel fantastic. Or at least improve. Good energetic shift.
Absolutely. To your point, sometimes IV nutrient therapy is a tool that we use and part of a personalized approach to really solving a bigger, deeper, more complex issue like mold toxicity or hormone imbalance, or if you have some other kind of chronic illness or condition. It's a powerful tool that we can use in addition then to creating a personalized plan, an individualized plan that really goes deep on creating some transformational shifts in your baseline health. IV nutrient therapy fits from all of those different angles, from just as a thing that you can use to kind of a supplement no matter where you're at, to really part of a fundamental tool to help shift you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah. And again, if you've never tried it, just make an appointment, come in. It's extremely appropriate for pretty much everyone in
Very much
almost
good.
every situation.
much
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it
We love it.
as much as often as you can get it.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. The thing that, we talked a lot about here are things related to our body, in our routines, but there's also the mental aspect. And when we come from summer into fall, it's really a great time for a mindset reset. Resetting what we're really looking to accomplish in that last quarter plus of the year. We're in that final stretch almost, as we get into October, then we're in our last quarter. If you're from the business world, right, we always think about these 3-month blocks, but it's a good pace because you can still get things done. And if you go back and you think about what you wanted to accomplish this year back in January, February, and you probably set some goals and had some things you've been working on this year, now's a really great time to see, well, what has shifted and changed? Because whether you're closer to your goals or farther away or haven't made progress on some things and made a lot of progress on others, it's now a great time to say, hey, how can I make these last few months of the year count? What do I really want to work on? Maybe it is your workout routine or your food. Maybe you want to maybe it's a really deep dive into your own health with IV nutrient therapy and getting a personalized plan in place. Maybe it's something completely different, right? Relationships, business. But this is a great time to get extremely focused, say, what do I want to accomplish in the last part of the year?
Yeah. And as we know with coaching, right? I mean, you can actually do quite a bit in 3 months, especially when you are, ideally you have a coach of some sort, if you have access to that or able to do it. But really, you can make some really incredible shifts. And really, this means, as you talked about, in any area, whether it is your health or it is financially, or you have some sort of, who knows, like some house goal or something. You're like, this, if I do this thing at home, it's going to be really amazing, like installing your new gym.
Right, exactly.
This is my 3-month goal, and it's going to contribute to this amazing part of my life, going forward. I love it. I love, we're both huge fans of like setting a good, nice goal, a good quarterly goal. And you know what? Even if you don't quite make it, you have made progress. And there's amazing, like incredible, awesomeness just to that, just the movement forward.
Absolutely. Oftentimes, underestimate what we can accomplish in the long term, where we overestimate the short term. So we think, they get done this week, next week, 2-3 week thing. And we lose perspective on what we can get done in, say, a quarter, which can be quite substantial, even if it looks small in the day-to-day. So it's a great time to reset that mindset and get focused and find something that you want to go after and create some progress on it in your life. Lastly, we're going to talk about something that we have to deal with here in the Pacific Northwest this time of the year more and more often, and that's the smoke. So we're going to talk a little bit about how do you deal with that from a health standpoint.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think this has become our new reality, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. In fact, the prediction is that it's something that it's going to be around for quite a while, right? Looking at years, unless, who knows, something major. They figure out some new fire resistance plan. But so from a health perspective, we're going to say, okay, we know it's here. We know we're going to have to deal with this likely every end of summer and fall for the foreseeable future. So some things that you want to have on hand. Ideally, you have a really high quality filter in your house. I really like Air Doctor, is pretty incredible. So it's a great brand to look for. And, as the season is kind of wrapping up, maybe this winter is a great time to do those because they're going to be on sale, right? You don't get them in the middle of the smoke because they're gone, and then they're also very expensive. So, but a great filter for your house, and probably a few. And then from an internal like health perspective, really what we need to do is increase the antioxidants that affect the respiratory system and also help with detoxification. And so that's going to be NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, which really is attracted to your lungs, also is one of the precursors to glutathione. And also NAC is an expectorant. So if any of the smoke is causing extra mucus, things like that, it's all gonna, it will help it come out. And then we want to do glutathione. Glutathione is just such a strong antioxidant, and again, has a really strong affinity for the lungs and the respiratory system, and will protect basically your respiratory tissue. And so whether you're getting that in the oral form, which is, ideally it's liposomal glutathione, or you're comboing it with like IV glutathione, which is just, also makes you feel incredible. Ideally you're doing both of those things during smoke season. And then we really want, we need to up other things that help just overall healing and detoxification. So that's going to be vitamin C, a lot of vitamin C. as well as helping the liver, right? So even if we're just going with a basic herb like milk thistle, and then any other, if we're looking at dark berries or something like that, the polyphenols or resveratrol, and that's just for tissue integrity and overall healing. Because this is a really, I mean, for people who are sensitive to the smoke, they feel it. They feel dragged down. They're lethargic. They can't breathe, right? So it does suck, yeah. And so for people who have like asthma or respiratory issues, maybe for you, what we need to consider is actually nebulized glutathione and doing some of those higher dose, like IV vitamin C and with all of the B vitamins and everything to help your system battle this and heal, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to go away as the wrong approach, right? It's here. We just have to deal with it, especially if you're sensitive. But even if you're not, those are some great insights and some great tactics, tools you could use to help kind of create a smoke plan for yourself, especially if you know it really affects you. And again, if that's something that you know you're dealing with, you need help with that, we're here to help create a personalized, individualized approach to your specific situation that can help you navigate the smoke season. And more broadly, take some of these tips. You don't have to do all of the things we mentioned here, but some of them and apply them into your life, because it is a great time to do a little reboot, reset, refocus, and really come into an incredible last quarter of the year.
Yeah, let's end this year with a bang, right? Like, let's make it amazing on all fronts. I mean, if you're making small steps like in each of these categories, if you're able to like think about how incredible you're going to feel, right?
You're going to feel very incredible.
Very incredible. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. We love you, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye-bye.